Hello! Welcome to Sticks, Strings, and Other Things. My name is Lee, and this is my little corner of the internet where I come to you about every other week and talk about the crafting, fun, and goodness that I have been getting myself into. Today is not a normal episode. Yeah, that's a great word. It, in fact, will just be a WIP parade of all of my stitching and cross-stitching projects that are started and laying around me in a terrifying jumble of I have way too many. So if you're here for the knitting, there won't be any today. This is all stitching all the time. And I have no clue how long this is going to take me to film. I have no clue how many WIPs I have other than way too many. That I don't think I have ever put them all in one place at the same time. I am a bit beyond daunted. So, I have myself a giant mug of tea. And, yeah. So, oh God, shall we start? Most of these I will not even be able to tell you when I started them because I wasn't keeping track of things like that. Let's start with this one first, as it's next to me. There's going to be lots of zipping and unzipping and all of that. This is a very, very old WIP. It is my Nova by Jenny Morrow. I started this, like I said, no clue. No clue. Not even an inkling of a clue, but I have all the random stuff in a bag. And this is what she looks like. There she is. There's the rest. Yep. So, Nova. It will be pretty when it's done. Someday. Yeah, I might as well get the things that are on frames done first. There aren't many. So then I can put those away. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. All right, next up is I have an Unearthed Design Blue Rose. As you can tell, I did not do a color printing. This should be in color. And yeah. Can you even see it? There, right here. That's all she wrote. That's it. That's all I've done. And I keep looking at this one and thinking, I'm not going to continue it. There's not much to take out when I do that. But yeah, I think this one is going to be a no longer. And then the last one that is on a big, bulky frame is a giant one. It is my Golden Kite Meeting on the Turret Stairs. I love this artwork so much. There's just something about, I don't know, the story behind it is a tale of depressing war and death. It's lovely. It's very depressing, but I love it, and I love her blue dress. It's so pretty. So shall we see the impressive amounts of progress I've done on this one? I haven't touched it in a very long time. In fact, I got it pretty much when this came out, which was in 2006. And that's it. That's all. That's all I have. And as you can see, I am parking my threads, but yeah, that's all. And it's a good thing I have a very large border because this tape has been on here for over a decade. So yeah, that's all that. now I'm going to pop these away real quick and hope that that gives me a little bit more room. It doesn't. So there's three. There's three so far. All right. Now, some of these I'm not going to know what's actually in the bags because I have no recollection of some of these. So let's open one of them. I think it was my let's see if I'm right. Yes, my Twisted Thread September Study Mini Months. And I'm doing all of the months in here, and I even have, wow, I even have one in the star that's finished. I believe I need to fix it a bit because that's kind of really not great. So, evidently I have January done. I do not recall where I stopped, but it seems to be in a Q snap. So I have January, I have February, March, I have April, I have May, and June, and July. These are all very tiny and over 1. So I'm guessing that means I'm working on August. Oh, and I even have the needles still stuck in where I was going to stitch next. Wow. So here's August. So that's where this WIP is. I am obviously using all of the called for threads. And I don't remember working on this in a very, 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 very long time. But August is mostly done. It's over 1. That'll be a pain. But yeah, I should finish these. Oh, I should also get August away, which is the one I'm working on. I should probably actually start working on this one again. I mean, I'm all the way to August. That means it's over halfway done. So, yeah. All right. There's one. Now, here's the question. How do you decide what you're going to work on the coming year? I have no clue. So, yeah, there's one. Let's go for another one that I don't have a clue what's in it. Oh, I remember what this one is. I do not have a finished picture of this one because this is Chatelain's Persian Iris Garden, and I was doing it when it was released as a mystery. I started it. Don't know why I stopped, but I'm doing it on black. There we go. There is my Persian Iris Garden. As you can see, I have some of the beadwork even done. Look at those beads. Those are pretty and sparkly. And it's on black. It's on black, people. That's probably why I stopped. That's lovely though. Wow. I'd forgotten all about this one. You know, if I spend this long talking about each one and going, ooh, look at that. This is going to take like 8 days. So let's let's stop that a little bit. But maybe I should actually work on that. I do have like 3 other Chatelains in my stash. Yes, this is with all the called for colors and threads and beads. And this is evidently where I'm keeping my pattern. And yeah. I am going to be putting everything back in their bags. Otherwise, I won't know what goes where with what and how. So there's 2. Hey, let's just reach at what's near my feet now. This one, I started this year because obviously I don't have enough things already started. This is Visit Mordor, and I'm blanking on the designer. And that is where I am right now. It's a fun one. I bought all of the visit different areas of Middle Earth pieces because I'm kind of a Tolkien geek. And I wanted them, and I found them amusing because they're all in like this 1950s travel guide photo poster. That would be the word I was looking for. Now that I have no clue what's in here. No, oh, these. The Little House Needleworks Virtues. I have done some of them. I obviously need to do, looks like 2 more. maybe more. Wait. No, it looks like just 2 more. I also have other things in this bin. So I have 2 more of the Virtues. Looks like I need to do Friendship and Gratitude. Look like the last 2 that I'm needing to do. So looks like those 2. And yes, even though the actual pieces of individual ones haven't been stitched, since it's part of a whole, part of a entire grouping of things, I call them WIPs even if they aren't technically started because I'm doing the rest of them. And oh yeah, I was gonna do all of the Blackbird Designs mini stockings. I have all of them. Bought them ages and ages ago when they first came out. So let's see where they live, where I got to. I'm doing them on all sorts of different fabrics. Let's see if I have any. Oh, I do have some on this one. Again, individual pieces might not be done or started, they might be completed, but as I'm doing the whole thing, I'm doing all of them from each book, it is considered a WIP in my brain. So there are a bunch of them. Hey, past me was a smart person for this one, probably because I was still using it as still have things to go. This is on 30 count Old Town blend from R&R Reproduction. Hey, that's kind of awesome. No clue when I started these, no clue about any of that, but there's some of them on that type of fabric. And I'm guessing I was finishing up May, as that is the actual book that is in the project bag. So it looks like I have some of May on here. Looks like I have 2 of May on here. It looks like I am just missing that stocking, or better picture, this stocking from May. So that's where that is, and let's see what other ones I have finished. All of those. There is a guy over here. He's just lighter. Getting these fold marks out is going to be fun. Oh, looks like I have an empty piece of fabric here, but I was planning on putting some on there. I don't know. And another one. I don't know. And then more. It looks like that is where I stopped with that one. Evidently I like, well, I know I like monthly projects. It's just completing them evidently is not high on my successful things to do. So the Blackbird Designs mini stockings. That's what was in there. Oh, and the Little House Needleworks Virtues. I've done all the other Virtues. They're sitting in my to be finished pile. Ah. To be fully finished. I'm so bad at that. All right, I'm gonna do a big lean for 2 different projects. First up, we have my Middle-earth map from Hade. And it looks like the cat has been sleeping on it, so I obviously need to get this in a bag. And there is where I am with that one. And this, I think, is just going to be so pretty when I get it done. And considering how large the fabric is, that could be a while. Sorry about all the cat hair. Like I said, this one's obviously been being slept on. My own fault for keeping it where I've been keeping it. Whew, yeah, that'll go into a bag later. Now cat hair everywhere. All right, next up we have my Mirabilia Maidens of the Seasons. And I was doing all 4 of them on one piece. As you can see, I finished winter and spring and stopped here on summer and haven't even started autumn. I did decide to do them all on one piece of fabric because I just like it better, and obviously I've not done any of the beading, as there are massive holes on them where the beads go. But I liked it. I like it when my seasons start with winter, and she had it spring, summer, autumn, winter, and so I decided, hey, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it my way. But it wasn't until after I started that I actually really looked at how she had designed it. And if I'd done it right, these vines here that are on each side, they actually line up with each other if you do it spring, summer, autumn, winter. And so my spring will match my summer and my summer will match my autumn, but my winter does not match my spring. And for a hot moment, I thought, well, I'll just take everything out and restart. No, I'm not. That's not going to happen. But I do have all of this done. So I'm halfway done with the stitching, a little tiny bit over halfway done with the stitching, and obviously none of the beads. And I don't know where the cover photo is for it right now. So I just pulled out the important part, the fabric. Next up, we have, I actually know what's in this one. My Sampla Cove Thriller. And this is as far as I have gotten. I actually worked on this earlier this year, which is shocking, but I did. So there we go. That's where that one lives. And it's very bits of, little bit of words. Wow. Okay. Next up, I bought the Hamilton songs, essentially. And I really hate the fabric it's on. I mean, active hatred of this really stiff and awful Aida. I mean, this stuff could stand up on its own. I'm not a fan. So I've not, let's show you the front, not done very much. There we go. That's it. I will deal with the fabric. I've already tried to wash it once. It did soften it some. Not that you could tell, but it did. Anyway, I really enjoy the musical Hamilton, so that's why I got that. Then I have from a French company that I am not going to butcher the name of. There's the company's name. And it's Noelle Chaumont. Sorry, anyone who speaks French. And this is as far as I've gotten on it. The reason I have not proceeded farther is the entire pattern is in French, which means all of the directions, which, if this were just cross-stitch, would be fine. This is not just cross-stitch. There are all sorts of specialty bits all over it. And I don't always understand, with my very poor French, what the heck they're asking me to do in what spots. So part of me is tempted to just stitch all of the cross-stitch, do all of that, and then very slowly try to figure out from the photo, which is not that close up, but figure out from the photo what stitch they're asking me to do, and then look it up elsewhere. Because trying to read from the French chart with the French directions and the French descriptions of those specialty stitches was not easy, and Google Translate is not a fan of technical language. So when you're talking about okay, that's actually one I get. Point de satin. Okay, that's satin stitch, obviously. But point arrieres? I got nothing, and neither does Google Translate. So that one I'm having issues with. Because it's hard. Because words, I mean, you hear my English, and I'm not great at it. So trying to do something in, I don't know, a different language, even harder. Oh, my needle minder from Hamilton popped out. I need to get that back in its project bag. Just a moment. Next up, I have one from Dragon Dreams. It is the Black Work Dragon. And if I actually sat down and worked on this guy, let me get a better, because I think all you got was shine. Let's try that. If I actually worked on him, I think he'd go really quickly. But my reason for working on him grew up. So I was originally doing this for my son when he was much younger. The kid is now in college, and yeah, a dragon really may not be the thing he needs anymore. But I still want to finish it because I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving the green on the green. I am using a piece of Sugar Maple Fabrics in Tranquility and using Vicki Clayton's hand-dyed fibers in a green variegated for that. Next up, living in my spiders and bats bag, I have Elizabeth. This is one I have been working on this year. I have been working on all of the girls from Carriage House samplings. Had to remind myself of the name. I have finished 2 of them, which means I have 2 more to go. And currently, the one I'm working on is Elizabeth. And that's where she lives. That's as far as I've gotten. This one I have been working on this year. It has had a little bit of love this year. You'll notice I've been purchasing project bags. Because wow, does that make it a lot easier than all the plastic bags I have been using? It's really nice. Anyway, this is living in, I live in the Pacific Northwest, so, I mean, how could I not buy raindrops and bumbershoot? If you don't know what a bumbershoot is, it's an umbrella. Piece living in here is from My Lady's Needle. It is M. Woods 1759. A very beautiful sampler. And I am doing it on the world's tiniest count. Okay, it's not the world's tiniest count. It's not like 70 or anything like that. But it is something like 56 or 62 or 60, I don't know. But there is my start. Yep, the whole sampler will fit on this tiny piece because it's tiny. I mean, can you even see the threads here, people? It's ridiculous. I do very much enjoy this one. It's a beautiful sampler. I really like it. I do want it finished. But it's exhausting to work on. My eyes just get tired. Yeah, I'm evidently doing this on a very tiny piece of fabric. It says 50-52, but I swear to God, because it's an uneven weave. It's uneven. You all know what that means. I swear to God, it is tinier than 50 count, though. I didn't realize I had the label for the fabric. Evidently, they're telling me it's 50 count. It's a heck of a lot harder than the 50 count I'm using elsewhere. The threads I am using are from Vicki Clayton. She did a very short run of some superfine floss. And that is what I am using for said project, because you need floss that is much skinnier when you're working on itty-bitty little thread counts. I don't believe that's 50-52. I'm working on another piece of 50 count over 2, and it is not that tiny. So, I don't know. Next up, I have, living in here, Brenda Gervais' Christmas tea. And it is on a giant piece of fabric. Let me hold it right side up instead of upside down. This way's right side up. And that is where I am with it. The teacup has been kicking my butt. If you watched earlier episodes of my Vlogmas, you would hear me complaining about the never-ending teacup. I like it though. It's pretty, and I'll finish it eventually. Now, lots of crinkling because a lot of these are just in bags. This is Goodness and Thanks from Plum Street Sampler. And there I am. Several of these, I swear, if I just sat down and stitched on them, I could finish them. I mean, all of them, if I just sat down and stitched on them, I would finish them. That's how that works, right, people? Oh, good Lord. All right, now I have Hurt Not the Earth. Nope, the thread needs to stay in. Thread stays in. Hurt Not the Earth by Plum Street Sampler. And this one I have to there. I stopped working on smalls so much when I realized I don't ever finish anything, fully finish it. I have a dresser drawer filled with finished cross stitch, just packed in there. But I never do anything else with it. Maybe this year I'll change that. You guys are a great inspiration for me. Have I actually started this one? This might be one that I haven't started. Let's find out. I think this was a planned start that oh, no, I've started it. I was so hopeful for a moment. Maybe I haven't started this one. Alright, this is Home for Christmas from Plum Street Sampler. And I have the house started. And that's all I have. A bit of house. Man, there was a moment there where I was super hopeful that maybe maybe it wasn't started and it was just kitted. Alas, it was not to be. All right, more tea. This is exhausting. I don't know how you people do this regularly. I mean, once a year is regularly. Regularly. Okay. Shall we keep going? Because there's more. We have C Street Samplers, I Sigh Not for Beauty, which is a lovely sampler. And I have no clue which way it goes. Probably this way, because probably not actually. Probably this way. I have no clue. Yeah, let's look. I typically start in the top right, so it probably does go this way. This is something I will have to figure out when I restart. No clue what this fabric is. And I am using Vicki Clayton's hand-dyed silks for it. But not a clue what the fabric is. It's a pretty fabric. It's very green. I should be saying what I'm using. Most of them it's the called for threads. And when it's not, it's silks and DMC. All right. Or overdyeds. I'll try and be better. Next up, what do we have in here? I don't even know. We have Bringing Home the Tree, which I started this year by the Scarlet House, using the called for thread and fabric. Haha. All right, I'll get there, people. I will. And that's what I have on it. Pretty cute. And more crinkling as I put it away. Yeah, I don't like these bags because of the sound. It's terrible. But I store a lot of my WIPs in them because they're handy. Okay, next up we have Quaker Turtles from With My Needle. I am doing this on the called for fiber, on the called for fiber, with the called for fibers on the called for thread. I said it again. On the called for fabric. And that is all I have. So I have basted out the squares that I need. And I have started one part. And this is done all over one, which is why it's where it's at. And I do have the piece of wool needed to finish it into its needlebook pin cushion pocket and little tiny turtle scissor fob. They're absolutely adorable. But again, with the over one. Next up, my birthday start this year, which is on 50 count fabric over 2, which is a lot easier to stitch on than the other 50 count fabric. Go figure. All right, I still have this on the giant piece of 50 count that I bought to do a bunch of red samplers on. And this is Jane Reese, and that's as far as I got on my birthday, which was yesterday. So this is Jane Reese. I was saying, before the camera rudely cut off, this is Jane Reese by The Scarlet Letter. I am using Vicki Clayton's hand-dyed silks in a red variegation, and it is on a lovely piece of 50 count linen, a very large piece of 50 count linen that I have not cut because I'm paranoid about cutting giant pieces of expensive linen until I know exactly how much I'll need. But considering the size of Jane Reese, it'll probably be a while before I feel comfortable cutting this giant piece of fabric up. Oh well. I'm very much enjoying that. I was enjoying stitching on that last night. It was soothing and relaxing to work on. Very different from the other 50 count fabric. So I swear to God, that can't be 50 count. It's just way, way different, way harder to see everything. Whatever. All right, we have more. This is a Quaker Study by Carriage House Sampling. I'm doing it on a piece of linen. I might actually know the piece's name. Oh, I'm doing it on Lakeside Linen's Palomino 40 count. I am using three colors, I think, actually, of Vicki Clayton's silks, so I'm just kind of doing my own thing. And there it is. I have worked on this one a tiny bit this year. So, a Quaker Study. Next up, we have Akina Head Lighthouse by The Silver Lining. And this one I realized when I was stitching it. I pulled it out this year and started restitching it. I am using the called for threads, but not the called for fabric, because I'm like, they took this on a blue sky day. Akina Head Lighthouse is in the Pacific Northwest, and it's gray more often than not. So I decided, in my wise and intelligence brain usage, to do it on a gray piece of fabric, not taking into account one tiny thing. It's a lighthouse, and this part right here, it's fully stitched, which means it's blue sky that I am stitching in the windows. So I'm not going to try and change the threads because I'm not that skilled. So I will have a gray sky with blue sky peeking through my windows. It's going to be an odd reflection. That's my decision. So that is as far as I've gotten on my Akina Head Lighthouse. And there are about 8,000 shades of red in that little tiny piece up there. So many different shades of red. It will be beautiful when it is done. And I will continue to work on it. But yes, I actually worked on this a tiny, tiny bit this year, which is when I realized that the blue sky shines through the lighthouse, and I have to stitch that part. Oops. It'll be quirky. It'll be quirky. But it is a beautiful lighthouse down on the Oregon coast. There's Akina Head Light. There's A lot of them. I mean, it's a coast with rocky shores. Of course, there are lighthouses. And oh, that's where that one is. Next up, in a spider bag, I have what? What do I have? I have Seasons by the Sea by Jeanette Douglas Designs. I'm doing it on a 32 count deep Caribbean fabric from Silk Weaver, using the called for threads. And I knew that because I left the sticker on it. Wexford Linen, Deep Caribbean, 32 count. There's my start. That's it. And this one is kind of a different one, if you don't know it. It comes in pieces. So you have all 4 seasons. But I am doing them all together on the same piece of fabric, obviously. So let's find it. I don't remember which one I started with. Whatever's in the upper corner. Oh, I probably started with Summer because it's the one that has the threads actually separated. Yes. Separated as I put them. I put the individual hanks. Instead of keeping them like that, I put them on thread cards for Skein 1 and Skein 2. So, started that one. Obviously, these were kits that I bought ages ago. Ages and ages and ages ago. But it was cute because, I mean, where was it? You get to stitch all sorts of fun things like a seahorse. And where's the lobster? Oh, an octopus. I mean, stitching an octopus is pretty awesome. And is it this one? Yeah, there's a lobster. There's a lobster. I love it. So that's I had to do it. Had to do it. And you'll see, I didn't hardly start it. Yeah, well. Next up, I know what this one is. Rattle, rattle, rattle. This is Sarah Toddam by Scarlet Letter. I am doing it on an unknown piece of fabric, white-ish, using Vicki Clayton's hand-dyed silks. And if you watched my Vlogmas, you know I was working on a ghost motif. Yeah, that's why I didn't even try and show it. Right there. Right, there we go. There's my ghost motif. I did finish it. But yeah, you can't see it. So there is Sarah Toddam as she stands right now. And let's see if I can fold this fabric back up. Don't mind me trying to put it back in a bag. I have, I said I was using Vicki Clayton's silks, but I did it in a weird way. They are living in here. For some reason I kitted it up this way, and I'm not sure why. So I have all her little individual mini bobbins in there, and that makes the bag very full and hard to get the fabric back into. Oh my, we're getting near the end, people. There might be an end. Sadly, I still haven't run into a piece of fabric that I'm missing. No. All right, next up we have Rites of Spring by Blackbird Designs. This is using the called for fabric and threads. And I have, that is my start. Ooh, that's move that thread down. It's a very thin piece of fabric. You can see right through it. But there. I don't do the hold a piece of paper up behind my stitching because I don't like the sound of the crinkling, which is funny because everything I'm doing today is crinkly. One more thing wouldn't have mattered. Still didn't want to do it. Yes, I have a bag in a bag. I don't know. It's in my back bag. Then I have this one. What's in here? I have On Redware Road by, I forget who, The Scarlet House. It is on the called for fabric using the called for threads. And there we are. I also have a thing in here that I have not started. This isn't started. I don't have to talk about it. Hooray. It's not a whip. All right. I'm going to lean very far forward and show you the project, but not a cover photo of the piece, because I know I have it because I had my hands on it the other day, but I can't find the chart right now. This is Miss Mary Mac from I don't remember who, and it is on an I don't know what fabric using Vicki Clayton's black, and that is where I am on the project, and I wish I could figure out where I left the chart, because I don't have a clue. So it's just living in a plastic bag because I'm awesome. And now I have one more piece that I'm going to show because I can't find the fabric for my Villages of Akina Hollow. And I know it's a whip, and I know I started it, and I was really hoping that opening up all these bags and pieces would have me find the fabric for that one, because I have two outlines of the boxes started. Or I have two boxes outlined, and that's as far as I've gotten on it for Villages of Akina Hollow from Carriage House Samplings. But I can't find the fabric. Oh, sorry, I swallowed my tea wrong. Had a coughing fit. I'm better now. I deleted out the coughing fit because no one needed to see that, but now my voice sounds funny, and that's why. And last is my pandemic sampler. Sorry, dropping threads. My pandemic sampler from Long Dog that I obviously started this year. This is actually the piece that got me starting stitching again this year. And that is as far as I am on it. And, oh, what fabric am I using? I think it's in here. I think it's 40 count dill by someone. Wow. I am using Vicki Clayton's hand-dyed fibers in Inky Depths, and I have them on different spools because at the time she was changing how she was putting her things together. I'm just peeking to see if I'd left the tiny thing that told me what fabric it was. They do not see it. So it's a 40 count. I think it's dill. And I started that because it looked really cool and it seemed appropriate for the year. I'm doing all the animals on it in black, and the rest of it is all in her Inky Depths. And that is it. Since I never did find the fabric for Village of Akina Hollow, I will have to obviously keep looking for that. because I have no clue where it is. I have no clue how many pieces that was. I am going to try and write down a list when I'm done with this. As I put them all away, I'm going to write them all down and make a list and check it twice and find out just how naughty I've been. We'll see if I add that total at the end. I am kind of daunted at how many WIPs I have. That is kind of terrifying. And I guess now the next thing is to figure out what the heck I am going to do this year to lessen the amount of WIPs I have, because whoa, wow, I know I had a lot, but oh my is all I can say. Oh my. Right, and considering how many things I have kitted and want to start, as I look at my pile of fully kitted things and my bin of more kitted things, yeah. I think this is all my WIPs though, I hope. I really hope. I hope there's no more hiding somewhere. If there are, yeah. So I hope that was if not enjoyable, or at least educational or something. I guess now I write down all my WIPs. I edit all of this, and I figure out my WIP go board for the year, and figure out what the heck I want to try and stitch on this year. And yeah, sorry for the weird outfit here. I got corned for Christmas. In other words, I ate something that had corn in it and didn't realize it, because I don't eat corn because it doesn't like me. I end up with migraines and rashes because I'm slightly allergic to corn. So I am currently more or less covered in a rash from about here down and all the way down my arms and all the way down my legs. So most of my torso, I'm very itchy, and it makes dressing very difficult. So I have to, yeah, I don't want anything touching the rash as much as possible. Everything's loose and flowy. Right. You guys didn't need to know that, but I'm sharing it anyway. Yeah. Sorry. I am flummoxed. I am astonished and flummoxed and don't know quite what to do with all of these WIPs. So I will work on them. That's what I will do, and I will try to make them be less. I will be back for a normal episode, probably January 6th. That is my plan right now. So until then, I hope all of you are happy, healthy. I hope you have a fantastic new year, and may 2021 be so much better than 2020. And on that note, I'm gonna mess with all this mess, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye. Oh my gosh, when cleaning up and putting things away, guess what I found? My Village of Hawkrun Hollow start. I found the fabric. Yay! Village of Hawkrun Hollow. There is another WIP. But there it is. So I said I had 2 squares done. I lied. I lied about having 2 squares done. I have 1 square done and 1 square started. But I found the fabric. Hooray. All right. That's all, folks. Really all this time. Bye-bye.